Okay, so today I'm going to demonstrate how to pin in order to cut out some fabric. This is our pattern, and you'll notice that I've already cut out the shapes here so that this is exactly the shape that I want to cut out of my fabric. I also just want to remind you that when we're ultimately sewing, this is going to be right side up. Our zipper is going to go here, and then this part here is going to fold up and make the bottom of our pouch, okay? That doesn't really matter now, but it's a good thing to keep in mind the whole time we're working. Now we're going to pin this in place so I can cut 2 copies of this out of this fabric. First thing I want to point out is that fabric is a little bit expensive. So what we do not want to do is plunk it down here and cut in the middle and leave all of this waste around, okay? We want to find ourselves near an edge. Secondly, because we're going to try and cut 2 of the same shape, we can do that by cutting 2 layers, because fabric shears are really great at cutting. They are made to be able to cut through 2, 4, sometimes even 6 or 8 layers of fabric. Certainly this very thin fabric, it'll do 2 layers of that, no problem. So I've got my edge here folded, and I'm going to put my little shape in place. I'm going to line it up against this edge so I don't even have to cut that edge. Okay, and I've got a little bit extra here, so I'm going to tighten up my fold a wee bit so that we get rid of that and don't end up wasting it. Okay, so now that should be very close to exactly lined up. If you look right on this corner, that's right at the edge, and this is lined up against the edge here. Okay, so now I'm going to pin this in place so it's not sliding around in a minute as I cut. You'll notice that my pins come in a variety of different shapes and sizes, and that doesn't matter. They're all going to be equally functional. So what we want to do is put the pin down into and through both layers of fabric and then pull it back up. And you'll notice that my pin is entirely inside the paper. I don't want any bits poking out onto my fabric, because if I have that, then I'll be cutting those. Okay, I do not want to cut my pins. So let's grab another pin. And we're going to try and kind of anchor all 4 sides. Now I'm sliding my hand underneath so that I can guide a little bit here. And I'm being very careful as I do that not to poke myself with my pin, okay? I'm checking periodically to make sure that everything is still lined up. And I'm going to go back here and pin right here. Now, if you were paying attention earlier, you might have noticed that this edge of the fabric that I'm looking at right here is actually folded, not cut. That's going to matter later. For now, we just keep that in mind and keep going. And this is getting a little bit out of place, so this is something you may have to do periodically. Once you've got 3 pins in, it's going to be harder to do this. So I noticed once I put my 3rd pin in that the other side wasn't lining up so well, so I took out my 3rd pin and tried again. Okay, now I'm happier with what I've got here. So I'm going to pin this in place. There we go. And I think, honestly, that 1 more pin should really do this. I'm going to put it up here. Okay. So that is how we pin in order to cut.